So we want to pay special attention to this concept of men. In 1776, which is where we say, this is Independence Day for the United States, then at that time, who qualified as men? Your qualifiers in 1776 for men, you had to be white. You had to be property owning, which also meant not only did you have to have land, but property owning also meant that you had to own enslaved people. You had to be, for the most part, Protestant. There were no Catholics here. And even if they were Catholics in these United States, they were not a part of the 13 colonies. If they were, most of the time, they were marginalized. And so they were not considered a part of the voting strength of the first 13 colonies. And then you had to be a man, because remember, on the previous side, we said that all men were created equal. So these are the 4 qualifiers that you had to have in order to be considered a human or a person in the United States in 1776. You had to be a white, property owning, Protestant man. No one else qualified. Certainly not enslaved peoples, certainly not indigenous Americans, certainly not children or women or anyone who did not qualify as being white at that time. So for example, if you were Irish, you were not considered white at that time. The term white had a lot of qualifiers to it, right? So the term got broader in terms of the umbrella of whiteness over time. But in 1776, usually you were British or of British descent, and you were white, property, Protestant, landowning man. Now we jump to the Emancipation Proclamation. So you all know that we had, obviously, after the American Revolutionary War, then not even a full century after that, then the United States goes to war, North and South, in the American Civil War, right? And so we have the Emancipation Proclamation that was authored by Abraham Lincoln. Now, let's be very clear. Abraham Lincoln's objective initially was not for the liberation of African Americans or of enslaved peoples. That's an unexpected byproduct that ended up dividing the nation. So let's just get going with that first. He penned the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 after he was elected for a second time. As a matter of fact, he was if you didn't know this, not Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln ran for office and got reelected in the middle of the American Civil War. That's quite amazing. But in this, he penned the Emancipation Proclamation. So it was on his second run for president that we see the Emancipation Proclamation actually being penned. It could not be enacted until the American Civil War was over in 1863, which is why, in 1865, which is why it says in 1865, then enslavement was abolished. But the proclamation was written in 1863. Everybody good on that? Very good, very nice, very fine. So once we get into 1865, when enslavement is supposed to be abolished, then we have a period called Reconstruction. The period of Reconstruction really was supposed to be a period that then took the inequities that existed during the period of enslavement and balanced those out. So to give newly freed individuals an opportunity to really exact their personhood, to allow Southern economies the opportunity to rebound from the loss of free labor, and to really try to re-engineer American economy and politics. So that's really what Reconstruction was supposed to be. Now, in that time period of Reconstruction, then you also had African Americans who started to hold office. They started to own property. They out-migrated, many of them, and they began to, they settled in new lands with new Black communities. So we had several of them actually during the period of Reconstruction. Everybody hold tight. I know we're on Zoom, but my sister just came into the Zoom. So I just want to say, once she connects, hello to my sister for coming in to the Zoom platform. You all are also welcome to come in, but you're also welcome to take a look-see on Facebook as well. Okay. Hey, Sissy, I'm going to mute you. Thank you for coming in.